Okay, guys, welcome back to 5,000 Miles, where we do reactions and reviews. My name is John. I'm over in Philadelphia.
And I'm Vince, and I'm 5,000 miles away on Maui.
And we are here to talk about Pluribus, Season 1, Episode 3, entitled Grenade, right? And we're just going to be having a discussion about the episode, breaking it down, and throwing in some clips along the way, and hope everybody enjoys that. Growing community of Pluribus people, I hope so, now that we're into the third episode, Vince.
Yeah, this show is already rated very highly on IMDb. The first two episodes are rated very highly. I think it is getting a lot of critical positive reception, and all the fans are loving it. All the Vince Gilligan fans out there are loving it. So I feel like more and more people are going to be getting on the Pluribus.
Yes, please join us here on the Pluribus. That's very cute. I also heard rumors of 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, that kind of shit, which is always really cool when a show gets that kind of thing. So this ended last time with Carol running
Her
in front
getting
of
off the plane.
Yeah, with her running in front of the plane, and we're definitely wondering why. Does she want to get Pirate Lady back? Does she have some kind of emotional attachment to her, or does she have some other kind of motive to stop the plane and to potentially maybe talk to that guy, the other survivor? We don't know why she stopped the plane.
Or maybe she wanted to get on Air Force One.
Or maybe just wanted to get her on Air. So I'm really interested to see why she did that.
If the hive mind had the ability to not assimilate her, would they do it? Or, do they even have the ability to not assimilate her?
Right.
They talked about it being this biological imperative. We also don't know if getting assimilated can be undone. Can
That's
they
a big one.
isolate somebody? Can they undo it? Or is it like mixing two paints together? Once it's together, there's no separation possible. We're also interested in finding out about those other people, the other assimilated folks that we haven't met yet.
The non-English speaking ones.
We met all the English speaking ones, but now we're kind of wondering about the ones that we haven't met. And also, what about killing the hive mind? We know that she can do damage to them. Is it possible to kill them?
If one of the survivors decides they want to inflict some kind of pain for whatever their reason would be, it would get awfully messy. But because the hive mind is like running the world, I can't see any of the survivors going all that rogue on them at any point. Too many unknowns to go rogue on the hive mind.
All right, so let's jump in and start talking about the episode 3.
We start off with some backstory, right? We go way back to seeing Helen and Carol's relationship in a vacation setting.
Ice. Helen, we are sleeping on an ice bed. I could have saved that $100,000 and frozen my eggs right here, yolks and all.
Now, one more thing. Your bathrooms are around the corner in the hall to your left, and if you keep going in that direction, you get to our hot tub deck, which is always open. As I'm sure you've noticed, the sky is quite wonderful this time of year. Anything else you need, please do not hesitate to let me know.
Thank you, Bjorn.
Oh, thank you very much. I hope you both have an enjoyable stay.
When they're off in Norway visiting an ice hotel, and we get some nice insight into like exactly who Carol is. We get some confirmation that she is a freaking miserable person who can't even enjoy beautiful, wonderful things when they're in front of her.
You're impossible. You're the most impossible best-selling author I know. Come over here. Why? Just come here. Look at this. That is amazing. Oh, God, I always wanted to see it. One time in Canada, I came close, but this is so much better than I ever imagined.
Kind of looks like a screensaver.
Oh, God, stop.
Yeah, she's definitely a Debbie Downer.
She's a Debbie Downer. And we also get some needed confirmation that they've been together for a really, really long time and that their relationship is very significant. So that kind of justifies why she's so upset.
The Norway thing is like 7-8 years ago. So we know that they've been together for at least that long.
Yeah, we find out that she was just becoming a best-selling author at that time, so their relationship even predates her commercial success as an author. So they've been together through it all. So this isn't just any old relationship that Carol has lost. She's really lost a best friend, a confidant, a work partner, everything. She's lost her world.
Her ride or die gal.
Yeah, and we got to see that. So I think that's what that scene served the purpose of, mostly. To let us know that she's always been this kind of Debbie Downer and that they've been together for a really long time. But that's actually a clever way to get it across that, like, she can't see the positive side of things. It's not in her nature.
I guess it depends on how you look at it. We know that one guy certainly sees a lot of positives in it.
He certainly does.
Bonjour. Enchanté. I am Kumba Diabaté.
Bonjour, Carol Sturka. Nice plane.
Oui, oui. Oh, Dieu tout-puissant, je suis ravi de vous avoir à bord. Wow.
I mean, being unassimilated in a world where you have a hive mind willing to grant your every wish kind of seems like hitting the jackpot.
God, it seems pretty sweet to me.
But of course, you know, aside from the fact of losing her best friend and her partner and the trauma that that's going to bring along with it, there are some really great benefits to being unassimilated in this world. But of course, Carol's not going to acknowledge any of that.
Especially if you get creative and start looking on the bright side. But anyway, as the episode goes on.
The next thing that we see is she's on the plane, and she was trying to contact one of the unassimilated people that don't speak English. And for some reason, this guy, he kind of seems like he's been singled out. So I'm not sure exactly what role he's going to play later on in this season or in the series, but it kind of seems like because he was like the last one to be contacted and he's not really having any contact with the hive mind, kind of seems like he's going to have some special purpose as opposed to the rest of the people that are unassimilated.
Hola, yo soy Carol Sturka. Estoy de los United States.
¡Me jodan más! ¡Déjenme en paz, hijo de putas!
Get him back.
So I'm interested in seeing where that's going. And also, a nice little Breaking Bad Easter egg is the plane that she's on.
On the plane, yeah.
Is being operated by Wayfarer Airlines. And Wayfarer Airlines is a fictional airline that was the plane that blew up in Breaking Bad.
So yeah, we find out about this guy who obviously clearly doesn't really want to help. He seemingly wants to be left alone, but at least we know the rest of the unassimilated. We got a description of all of them.
Tell me about the non-English speakers.
Well, let's see. There's Bora Kolak, a 60-year-old candy vendor in Istanbul. He speaks Turkish and loves cats. In Bali, there's Ida Udui, 23, speaks Indonesian Balinese. She's a contortionist and a dancer. Sidona Melis in Sardinia is a fisherman. Or he was, but he's 89 and retired. There's Mary Kuxiakantola, lives in Mazuru, Lesotho.
What does she do?
Her family raises Basoto ponies, but she's only 8 years old. She hasn't decided on the profession.
Next.
Abdul Karim Al-Shari lives in Aden, Yemen. He's a 37-year-old muezzin.
Nope.
His name is Manuso Oviedo. We weren't aware of him for the first 33 hours. He manages a self-storage facility in Asuncion. So far, he hasn't really communicated with us.
So she now knows, as she's trying to put it in her head, what her game plan is. Hey, can I use these people for anything? We get a rundown of who they are, where they were, and then just this unfortunate exchange on the phone where she doesn't necessarily get what she wants. She's not going to get somebody to talk to about this whole thing. So that's how that went.
Yeah. That guy that she's trying to talk to kind of reminds me of her because he seems very grumpy. He wants to be left alone.
Right.
I assume he thought that she was part of the hive mind when she was calling him. So he does like call her a bitch in Spanish.
Yeah.
And then she calls him back just to curse him out.
Chinga tu madre, cabrón!
We're sorry, Carol.
At least he knows that she's not part of the hive mind because the hive mind would never say anything mean to him like that.
Yeah, so maybe he put that together. Yeah, so from there we go, we get home, we see her trying to chill out. She decides she's going to watch some Golden Girls and hit the grocery store, maybe make herself some food. When she gets there, the grocery store, empty. So she decides, hey, you know what? You guys want to help? Give me my grocery store back. So it was really an interesting thing for them to go, okay, watch how efficiently we're going to do this. And then we see how they decide to grant her wish and give her a goddamn grocery store back. Sprouts.
Right. And efficiency is the key word here.
Yeah.
Because she was like, oh, so what should I do? Come back Friday? She thought it was going to take them a couple days to get everything like back and restocked.
We're
and
on the
they
way.
Just go, yeah, they go, we'll be there shortly. And then you just have like all these worker ants just restocking the entire store. They know where everything's supposed to go, and it takes them like an hour or so, and they get the
really
entire
quick.
store back up and running. But it kind of shows that it seems like Carol wants to have her cake and eat it too, because she's claiming that she's really independent and she wants to be left alone. But at the same time,
Yeah, I fend for myself.
If she really wanted to be completely left alone and not have them do anything, then the electricity wouldn't be on, because they're keeping the power plants running. They're keeping the waste disposal and removal plants running. There'd be no
Water,
more plumbing.
hospital, all that stuff.
She'd be in an episode of Alone. She'd really have to be fending for herself. There wouldn't be anybody there to stock the grocery store. She would really just have to be foraging, and it would be like she was back in the Stone Age again.
But they are taking care of each other, you know what I mean? They have their own independent needs. They all have to eat and shit in the most efficient way possible. So they're going to be out there
Right.
doing certain things and keeping certain things operational. But they're just
Right.
going to turn any facility off, anything that's a drain of any kind of resource that doesn't need to be immediately used in order to help somebody maintain themselves. Then
Right.
we don't need to, we're not going to waste anything. And that's what they show us, I think, with that
Right, and
grocery store thing. And it was actually even kind of cool. Did you notice when they were like leaving, they were talking to her and like
Oh, yeah.
finishing each other's sentences as they went by?
All set, Carol. Call us if there's
Something you want that's not here, we'll get it to you.
tea sweet.
Really illustrating how one they are. It was kind of funny.
I thought it was interesting that they talked about the fact that she donated to the Sierra Club. So she's obviously for conservation, of resources and trying to limit pollution of the planet. And so the hive mind is going to do a lot to make sure that happens. And also, the efficiency that the hive mind can provide for the human race is going to be a huge benefit to a lot of people, because we know that the earth can produce enough food to feed everybody on the planet. The
Very
only reason
easily.
that starvation
Very
and
easily.
hunger exists, I mean, think about all the food that we throw away and what we waste in America.
Dude, it's
so
like
if you have a
50%.
hive mind that is efficiently able to manage all these resources, that's
All
the
of them.
end of hunger,
Or waste.
on the entire planet. So they're showing you that the efficiency that this hive mind can provide is beneficial in a lot of ways for the planet and for all the individuals on the planet.
So then she rolls back home and she's just trying to chill. And she's got
and then
Pirate Lady
we get
comes
to
over.
the point of the episode that gives the episode its namesake, Grenade, because they're asking her if there's anything that she wants, and sarcastically she goes, "Yeah, why don't you give me a grenade? That'd be the best way to top off this week."
Carol, is there anything we could do to cheer you up?
Cheer me up? Why? I'm fine. I'm so happy. There is nothing wrong with me that a fucking hand grenade wouldn't fix. You got one of those? Because I think that would be the perfect topper for the greatest week in human history.
And Pirate Lady shows up her house and gives her a live grenade, and she invites her in to drink a little bit. And I gotta say, I would really enjoy drinking with somebody and talking to somebody that has all that information, because she's talking about the liquor and the history of whiskey and all the etymology of different stuff and how to say cheers in different languages.
Yeah.
I mean, having the hive mind would be a perfect drinking partner.
It would be pretty cool.
You just ask them anything that you want to know and have them tell you all kinds of cool stuff. So I wouldn't mind drinking with the hive mind. But then she gets a little hammered, and she pulls the pin on the grenade.
Pulls the fucking pin.
And kind of thinking that she's calling their bluff. She's like, you wouldn't really give me a live grenade.
Wow, you got this thing really jammed in there, don't you?
Please, be careful with that.
Right, like you would give me a real hand grenade.
Carol, if we may.
And then protects her. And then once they realize that she's injured, she's like, "Oh, we got to call for help." And the pirate lady goes, "Oh yeah, help is already on the way." And then
Already
off in the
taken care
distance, you
of.
can hear the sirens. So just another thing that the hive mind is great at is emergency response services. It's kind of like Gus Fring, how he had his own personal doctor
His
on
own
call at
personal-
all times.
Yeah.
In Breaking Bad, that would be like having the hive mind with you at all times. You know, you got your personal doctor and everything that you need right there.
Yeah, he certainly sorted it all out. But before it came to her accidentally pulling the pin, thought it was really interesting that, you know, you pointed out in the last episode how great Vince Gilligan is as a writer in terms of just like answering your questions and not leaving you hanging too long. The conversation that they had where she's like, so if you drink, and does that mean everyone's going to get drunk? Like, I felt I had that question, and then they immediately kind of answer it. But then they also touched on something in that conversation that I thought was really important to the show.
I guess I have agency just until I don't?
Carol, if you were walking by a lake and you saw somebody drowning, would you throw him a life preserver? Of course you would. You wouldn't think, you wouldn't wait, you wouldn't try to get consensus on it. You'd just throw it.
So now I'm drowning?
You just don't know it.
You see someone drowning, you save them. It's instinctual. And
Right.
the hive mind is telling us that to not be a part of a hive mind, to not be a part of this, to us, it's viewed as a drowning person that we need to save. So now we get our answer to whether or not they're
Right.
going to assimilate her, and also the answer as to why. We now know, we can relate to that feeling, right? We can relate to the idea of someone's in peril, you instinctually save them. That's how they feel about the unassimilated. That's a big piece.
Right. Yeah, and also, I mean, like, we see from the beginning of this episode and throughout the episode that Carol is a grumpy, unhappy person.
For sure.
And I mean, right now she's especially unhappy because of everything that's going on and the loss of her partner, Helen. But even in good time, at the beginning of the episode, she's on vacation. She's in an ice hotel. She's looking at the aurora borealis. She just found out that she's on the New York Times best-selling list, and she's in the top 20. And she goes, "Well, is it closer to 11 or is it closer to 20?" Like, nothing that could possibly happen to her is enough to make her happy, you know. And joining the hive mind would be the most blissful experience. And so it's sort of like they view her as drowning, and she asked the question. She's like, "Oh, so you think I'm drowning?" And they go, "Yeah, but you just don't know it yet."
But yeah, but
And,
that's not
you know,
necessarily because she's miserable. They might look at all unassimilated that way and not get into the weeds as to only certain people need it more than others. They probably just view
yeah.
everybody that way.
Even if you're that one guy who's living the good life, you know, with his harem of supermodels and riding on Air Force One, they even see that guy as drowning.
Yeah.
You know, even though he's he's living his best possible life. And I really like the imagery that Carol evokes when she's talking about what she thinks the hive mind is going to tell her what it's like.
Let me guess. It's all beautiful scenery, and you feel nothing but contentment. Just wave after wave of bliss and peace, and everything is perfect. It's like living inside a postcard every second of every day.
On some level, it's got to be 10 times that, because it's experiencing all those beautiful moments all at once at all time.
Yeah.
And so she's almost making their argument for them. If you could experience all of those things at all times, are they really as great of experiences?
Yeah,
know,
like if
because maybe
everything's special,
maybe
then nothing's special.
right, because if you can always be walking on a beach in Croatia and always watching the most beautiful sunset and always be in a rainforest, then the one time that you do get to go on vacation and experience that, is it as meaningful? Is it as valuable?
No.
Is it worth giving up your individuality that she's holding on to, and being this like individual cantankerous person? Is it worth trading that away for anything, no matter how beautiful or blissful the experience could be?
Yeah, I think it might be more about the absence of all the misery and confusion and conflict and difficult. It's the absence of that versus the ever presence of the happiness. I would think that would be the upside. I don't know.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
that's true. I mean, like, what's one of the number one fears in the world is people worrying about money, people worrying about their health, being afraid of death. And so once you become part of the hive mind, money is not a thing anymore. Worrying about your health is not a thing anymore.
Fucking racism, just not all of it gone.
People's bodies still need to be taken care of, but your consciousness is going to be pervasive across all of
Existence.
biological life.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about death, because no matter what happens to any one individual body, you will never die.
Anyways, so the end of the episode, we find out that the pirate lady's going to be okay. She's going to survive. And then Carol's talking to another hive mind member, and she gets a little bit more insight into what these people will do for you and how they will absorb maybe you doing something that they don't approve of. They just basically tell her, look, if you want an atomic bomb, we'll give it to you.
What about an atom bomb?
Why would you want one?
To blow shit up? For kicks? I mean, does it matter? You gave me a grenade, for fuck's sake.
It'd be okay to say no at this point.
That would be sane. Not utterly batshit crazy.
If you truly wanted a nuclear weapon, we would weigh the pros and cons with you. We would explain that it would be very destructive.
Yes or no?
Ultimately, yes.
Like, we might not approve of it, but we'll give it to you. So that is
we
how...
won't be happy about it. We won't necessarily be stoked about it, but they'll give her an atomic bomb.
Right, but that's how deep their happiness or aiming to please, however you want to put that, that piece, that's how far it goes. They basically said to her, look, we're going to give you whatever you want. And we don't know if we're going to be able to figure out how to assimilate you. But rest assured, we're trying round the clock to get this done, and it's coming for you. We see Carol sitting there after she kind of tells the guy, all right, I'm done talking to you, absorbing this new information that she absolutely has. She knows about the other unassimilated, and she knows that she's not having any luck with the guy she tried to call. She knows that the hive mind will do absolutely anything that she wants or asks, and she knows that they are doing everything they can to assimilate her. Those things are all facts now, and she's just kind of sitting there thinking about the implications of all that stuff, and that's really where we're left.
We got a clear-cut answer to the question of whether or not they would allow her to maintain her individuality, and it is a resounding no. They pretty much straight up told her, they said, once we figure it out, we're going to assimilate you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Insert ticking clock.
Yeah, and so now we have a literal and figurative ticking clocks in the show. But, like, why do they care if the 11 or 12 unassimilated people on the planet are happy or not? I mean,
think
there's really no reason.
It just speaks to how they're put together.
Yeah.
It's just the way they are. It's about unfulfilled desires. If this individual wants or needs something, they can't evaluate the gravity or the depth or the specificity of it. You want a grenade? Okay, here. We wouldn't want you to not have this grenade. We didn't even know if you were serious. Just in case you were serious, we brought it over.
You did want a grenade, yeah.
We brought it over. Like we couldn't let it go. You might have wanted one, so we had to get you one. And then if you didn't want one, who gives a shit? We're good. We're out of here. Yeah. So it's just this insatiable, inherent desire to fulfill someone else's needs, questions, wants, whatever it is. And it has no limitation.
The only thing that would truly make Carol happy at this point would be the assurance that she would not be assimilated. And that's the one thing that they're not willing to give her. And then another cool thing is, I feel like on some level, they're playing these little psychological games with her that is slowly working on her. You know, like there was no reason for them to send her the pirate lady, except they thought that she would find that person attractive or endearing because it looked like the character from her novel.
Yeah.
But she did stop the plane to go bring the pirate lady back on the plane.
Yeah, she's like, oh wait, I kind of like her.
And there was really no need for that because every other person on the planet could serve that same purpose as her. But she did find herself endeared to that person on some conscious or unconscious level.
Enough to run off the plane and go get her.
Yeah, and then even though she told the hive mind to stay away from Helen's memories, she's like, I'm the only person that gets to remember Helen, you know, or have access to anything that she would have had access to.
Yeah.
But then the hive mind, when Carol is talking to the hive mind about how all the beautiful things that it would be like to be part of the hive mind, you know, and she says, or to be in Norway, and the hive mind says under a pile of furs.
On an ice bed, yeah.
On an ice bed under a pile of furs. And that's just this subtle thing of them being like, hey, I know you told us not to say that, but we're going to slip that in there just so you know that, like, if you were part of the hive mind, that beautiful memory that you have and that time with Helen that you treasure could be yours.
It could be yours.
For a price.
Right.
It could be yours.
And also,
I feel
guess
like
subtly,
stuff like that is slowly going to work on her character.
We'll see. The show's also telling us that if you had any ideas about like, hey, can the hive mind kind of separate themselves if they wanted to? Could they separate a section of themselves? Could they pull a certain amount of memories out? It doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like they are conglomerated and that's it. That's the way it is.
Yeah, because I mean, theoretically, you could find somebody that looks like Helen and tell her to only say and do the things that Helen would know. But
and they could do that.
But yeah. But there's always going to be that assurance in the back of your mind that, hey, this is not the person. And at any time I could ask them any question about quantum physics and they're going to know the answer.
And there's no privacy. You'd have to just pretend.
There's no privacy. Yeah.
And, you know,
I mean,
if you're
it's
Helen,
working for that Indian lady with her son. She knows that that's not her son,
for the moment,
biologically, it's her son's body. She has that chemical attachment that a mother has to her child.
Yeah.
And the kid is behaving like her child for the most part, even though he knows information about gynecological exams. So I mean, on some way, it would be really easy for Carol to lie to herself and just have somebody impersonate the people that she loves.
And who knows? Maybe that's part of that. Maybe that's part of what she's contemplating. The whole thing is also, it would be tough. Even if you were starting to say to yourself, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do the Helen thing. I'll just go back to pretending things are normal, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, but they're coming for me. So why would I want to start building myself up a life that's tolerable just to have it stolen from me potentially whenever? It'd be difficult to start investing in your present, especially being a cynical Debbie Downer that she is. It'd be really hard to invest in your present when you are terrified of the fact that it's about to be stolen from you at some unknown time.
It's definitely a fascinating premise.
For sure.
And There's not a lot of questions that haven't been answered yet. I
Nope.
guess one of the main questions that we would like to see answered is what's the guy who doesn't speak English who she talked to? What's his deal?
What's
We'd like
his
to see
deal?
that further explored.
So yeah, guys, let us know if you have anything that you're wondering if they're going to get at in the next couple of episodes, what you're thinking of it so far. All you Vince Gilligan fans out there, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. We will be on next week for episode 4.
If you guys spotted any other Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul little Easter eggs,
yeah,
let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
like that Wayfarer thing is really cool, and I'm definitely, as a Vince Gilligan fan, I'm gonna have my eyes peeled for any type of Vince Gilligan related Easter egg. So if you guys caught any of those, let us know in the comments. And
sure.
until next week, if you want to be part of the 5,000 Miles Hive Mind, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot. See you guys on the next one.
All right, bye.